everybody. Welcome to the MTG Place podcast. I'm your host, Corey, and with me, like always, is James. How's it going, James?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a decent weekend. Before we
That's
get
good.
started here with the special guest we got, and also we're going to talk about some Jumpstart cards, I'm going to read a few sponsors here. So our first one is Zencastr. It records each guest locally, then uploads crystal clear audio and video right into the suite, so you have high-quality raw materials to work with. It's an all-in-one podcast production suite, gives you high-quality audio and video without needing the technical know-how. And if you want to try Zencastr Pro, you can get 30% off by using offer code zen.ai/the MTG Place. Second way you could help support us, we have a TCG Player affiliate link, which will be in the show notes. You can also find that on our website, mtgplace.net. And lastly, we have a Patreon. You can sign up for as little as $1. You'll get a signed card from me and James in the mail, and you'll get any other cool perks you want. You can also play Magic the Gathering games with us or anything else you want to do. But now I'm going to bring in my guest here, which is k0ppk0pp from Magic Tapping Authority. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're glad to have you for sure.
I'm ready to talk about some Jumpstart. Let's I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm nervous. I'm
Well, for people who don't know you super well, what's your Magic history? When did you start playing and all that?
Oh yeah. So I started playing Magic in high school. It was around the Onslaught, Scourge, Legions block, which I feel like is a very popular block. A lot of people came in at that time.
Yep.
That's around when we came in. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, 98 is around where I came in. So yep.
Mm-hmm. It was just such a good block, but we're here to talk about Jumpstart. My friend was playing, and I at the time was a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player. I was so deep into Yu-Gi-Oh, I was like competing at regionals levels. I was almost at a national level, and he was like, "Hey, do you know Magic?" I was like, "No." So he gave me like 2 decks and a shoebox of random cards, and we played in the cafeteria at lunch. And then Yu-Gi-Oh fell out, and I went to college, and it just kind of became the thing that I did on the side with friends until I got to New York, and then I found a solid play group in New York City, and we just started playing every Saturday at noon, and we were doing 60-card multiplayer. That's like what we found and we loved. And one of my friends was like, there's this like format called Commander that's like inherently multiplayer, and we're like, what? You know? So we bought the 2016 decks. That was when we came into Commander, and it just like spiraled from there. We started building Commander decks, and then the pandemic hit, and I was working in theater at the time, so my industry fell off, and I pivoted over to streaming after like an 8-month hiatus. And I went to my play group and I was like, what if we just streamed Commander? Like, it's easy. We already do it. We're already playing online on Spell Table in the pandemic. Let's just like see if anybody shows up. And we started doing it, and people started showing up. And we got affiliate status after doing a collaboration stream with Elder Drunken Highlander. And then it was like, okay, well, if I'm going to be a content creator, whatever that means, right? I don't know what that means, but like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's monetized, then my theater producer brain kicked in, and I said, okay, well, now I have to figure out what it is. And I was telling Corey before we started recording, I started watching other EDH streams on Twitch and was like, you know what's missing is that the players aren't talking to the chat, and the chat can't talk to the players. And if the players talk to the chat, the game takes too long. And so I was like, there needs to be someone in between here. And that's basically what we kind of formatted was, you know, what people have now started to call the 5-person format, which is that I am talking to the chat about the game, and the players are playing the game, and I'll chime in, I'll talk to the players, and then I'll mute myself and I'll talk to the chat. And basically it's like half esports commentator / half sassy co-host talk show evening host, whatever, you know.
I love
it. And yeah, so that's literally what my platform has become now. And then we decided to put it under an umbrella. So because we were New York City based before the pandemic, we decided to riff on the Metro Transit Authority and say we are the Magic Tapping Authority. We're the MTA. And that's just what we've been doing now. We branched out from Twitch into YouTube. We have a Twitter and an Instagram, and it's like me and my play group of like 6 other people are trying to understand how to collectively make this thing, whatever it is right now.
Hey, that's half the battle for sure. Yeah, content creation can be kind of scary, definitely. So, it's awesome that you've been able to kind of, make something different in a way. That's kind of not exactly really on other channels. Like especially like that's a really cool idea, I think.
Thank you. That's like when people ask me about like, well, what do I do? How do I get started? I always echo the advice that I worked for a Broadway producer for a while, and he sort of like coached me in how to be a producer. And his biggest piece of advice he's like, you got to find the gap. You have to find the thing that no one's doing yet and make that the thing. And so, that's my words of encouragement whenever anybody asks me, like, how do I do this? Is like, take what you love, Pokemon, Magic, Xbox games, running, who knows what it is, right? Like, whatever. Take the thing you love, do a bunch of research, and then figure out what's not happening yet, like what's missing, and do that and see if it works. It might not, it might. But you tried, and you can always pivot and change. But like, I think I love the Magic the Gathering community. I'm so grateful to like be in this space and be a part of it and be on this podcast and be able to talk to people and meet other creators. And I also think that like I am a very candid and like honest person. And so it's like, I also think that the space is very crowded, and that's okay. It's okay that it's crowded because everybody wants to make stuff, So, like, if you want to join the space and make something, how do you make it you? How do you make it different,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And honestly, I think, being genuine, being yourself, like, that's really key, I feel, because when you're not and, like, try to fake it, like, that's, people can, usually figure that out. And it can honestly... people can see through that. So yeah, that's definitely important, and I think that's great.
Thank you. It's my favorite. What's the quintessential voice where it's like, "What's up, everybody? It's your boy."
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what formats do you like to play? You kind of touched on Commander. That's kind of your main one, I guess, or do you have other ones you like to do too?
I honestly, right now, just play Commander. I used to keep up with like Standard a lot, but I never really got into it. And I was recently at MTG Summit, and I got to talking to Treeroy, and he's a Legacy player. And I was like, tell me everything about Legacy, because I have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm fascinated.
Was like,
really?
Yeah. We
I was the epitome of not making day 2. I would 5-4, like you 6-3 makes day 2. I would 5-4 every single tournament, and so it was ridiculous. I finally made my first day 2 tournament this year on the arena during the Arena Open.
Oh, congratulations! That's amazing.
So.
Yeah, I have a Death and Taxes deck. That is my main Legacy deck. I have not actually played a Legacy tournament for a very long time, though, mostly because they're hard to find. I mean, now that Arena kind of has them, it makes it easier. But like, back when it was like PTQ based and all that stuff, it's like you had to travel for that stuff. Like it wasn't like just like something you could find at your shop down the road. Usually, it was like, oh, you need to go to frickin' Pittsburgh or something. It's like,
yeah, it's still like the big Legacy event was in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh this year, and then
wow.
So, but I'm sure Magic 30 will have something because Minneapolis St. Paul has a big
definitely looking forward to that.
Community, so we have a Magic Con, whatever they're calling about it. Is coming
Magic Weekend.
So, whatever they're calling it.
I call it Magic Christmas.
For sure.
I do draft. I do like if you count that as a format. Like I don't draft every set. Yeah, but I'll draft or do a sealed. Like if people are doing it, I'm like, sure, why not? I won't win. Like I'm really bad at drafting. My brain doesn't really understand decision making when it's like high stakes and like limited options. But I'll do it. It's fun. I'll get cards out of it.
It's a good time. And it's a great way to just spend time with friends. Like just get a few packs and just, rip them open, see what you get.
Yeah, that's one of the places where I excel is the limited because I didn't have like even with standard, like I did play some standard when like Kakusho was legal and stuff like that back in Kamigawa. But, then I went into doing the pre-release seals and the drafts because it was more of a level playing field because like I didn't have to go buy a $300 deck every 6 months when the new set.
Oh, that was the worst.
I could just go play limited with 3 packs and just beat everybody.
And that was honestly because originally I used to do standard because that's kind of what everybody did. And that's honestly what kind of got me to go into legacy was just like, I have to spend like these hundreds of dollars and then it rotates every 6 months. This is stupid when I can just spend more money for a deck that doesn't really change. Like it changes a little bit, but like not a lot. So I eventually got my deck together. So standard, it's fun, but it's expensive. Like it's hard to keep up with.
It's hard to keep up with. It's like it's funny how jaded and salty I am about needing 4 copies of a card now. I'm like 4 copies, insane. Like
like, Commander, I only need 1. What the hell?
What are you talking about? I got my 1 cradle. I'm good to go.
But then you get the staples. And you're like, I only have 8 Cyclonic Rifts and I have 9 decks. Oh. Do I just use the same sleeves and switch it? Oh, but that's so much work.
Just switch them out.
This sticky note. This is a Cyclonic Rift, everybody. Okay.
Oh yeah, you just proxy it with the land or something.
Yep.
I own one. I swear, it's just over there.
That's another deck.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, that's like, and that's why Brawl didn't work. Like, no offense, like that's literally the concept of rotating out cards is not something Commander players want to do. Sorry, not sorry, but
now they did the historic Brawl, which is literally just Commander, but you're at 25 life. It could use Planeswalker as your Commander.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Planeswalkers as Commanders, I'm like pseudo interested in. That could be an interesting Rule 0 to explore, but like, yeah,
there's already some we can use as commanders in Commander, so why not?
Yeah. That's why, like, when I was still playing, like, I did take breaks in between because it was like Onslaught block, and then Mirrodin hit, and Mirrodin was a disaster. I was like, oh my god, this set is broken. I can't afford these decks, so I took a break. Then I came back, and Kamigawa was fine, and then I took a break, and then Laura. It's like I was in and out for a while. I missed all of Cons, which I kind of regret now. Everyone talks about how amazing the Cons of Card.
Yeah, I missed that set too.
I thought it was okay. I just thought it was okay. But that's because I was mainly playing Legacy at the time, and I was sick of the Monastery Mentor and Miracles being the biggest deck on the block. And...
Oh, yeah.
God, Miracles. Ugh, gross.
I'll just put my Amanatu Miracle control deck away. We won't. It's on that shelf over there. Let's not look at it, though.
Yeah, for me, like I played pretty consistently from it was 7th edition basically. It was like when we started until it was Kamigawa. Until I think Kamigawa was when I kind of stopped, and then I didn't really pick it up until like Lorwyn or something like that. Mm-hmm. and then like into like Zendikar and like World Vegas when I really got back into it, and then I was really into it, like because those were like my college years. So you start on that 7th edition with that foil Thorn Elemental. I'll never forget that. Like, oh man, this is a 7/7 that deals damage even though it's blocked. Is awesome.
Yep, that was James's win con. Like every day.
That was back in the day. That was like everybody's win con back in 7th edition when they started playing Magic.
And then we had the Visitrex Trained Org. We're like, this is so bad.
The worst legendary or rare cards ever. Yeah, 7 for a 6/6 that does nothing. It's like,
Vanilla
okay.
6/6. That's like a common now. Like 6
Yeah,
for
it's
6/6.
literally a common.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a rare back in 7th edition. Ooh. God.
We've got Visitrixes at home, okay?
Exactly. Oh, man. Well, shall we look at some Jumpstart?
Yeah, you want to read the first card?
Are you talking to Cop or me?
Oh, I'm talking to you, James.
Me? Okay. Perfect. So as we do generally with these, we are going to be doing rares and mythics only. Otherwise, we will be here forever.
And no reprints either.
I know reprints because, again, we will be here forever. We'll be in the Wooburg order, so starting with white and alphabetical order of each color. So first of all, we have Argus Koss, Eternal Soldier. It is 3 and white for a 3/4 legendary spirit soldier creature with vigilance. Whenever Argus Koss, Eternal Soldier, becomes the target of an ability that targets only it, you may pay 1 and red or white. If you do, copy that ability for each other creature you control that ability could target. Each copy targets a different one of each of those creatures. So that's interesting.
So it's worse. What's the red guy? Zada?
Zada.
You just have to pay 2 to do it. Copies everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's Boros Zada, and it's Zada is only instants and sorceries, right? Or is it like this is strictly abilities?
Yeah.
Zada,
and its ability.
Oh, you're right. This is only abilities. You're right. So that's even worse.
Exactly.
Yeah, Zada is instant or sorcery spell that targets only Zada. Like it does some weird things. I was going through some tweets that people were doing, and where's the Flamekin? Yes, this thing. The Soulbright Flamekin, which is 1 and a red for a 2/1 elemental shaman, and it has 2 colorless. Target creature gains trample until end of turn. If this is the 3rd time this ability has resolved this turn, you may add 8 red mana. And so what happens is like you target Koss, and it will immediately target everything, and then immediately resolve the 8 mana.
Yeah, so they'll all get the trample, and you'll get 8 mana.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It's like
sick.
wait, what? So it does some very strange things. I will say also, as somebody who runs a D&D Ravnica campaign, everyone says Argus Koss, and it's Agrus. It's Agrus, and I don't mean to be a stickler about it, but actually it's Agrus.
Actually, I feel that. I pulled the Corey. Usually it's Corey who mispronounces stuff.
I mispronounce every damn
I'm usually
thing
pretty
anyway.
good.
If you want something butchered, I'll say it.
Oh yeah, he's bad. All right, who's reading the next one?
I'll get it. Let's see. We got Lita, Mechanical Engineer. It's 2 and a white for a 3/3 Artificer legendary creature with vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, untap each other artifact creature you control. Pay 3 and a white, tap it, create a 5/5 colorless vehicle artifact token named Zeppelin with flying and crew 3. So we can make Led Zeppelins here.
I literally was like, if somebody doesn't put a lead mirror with a Zeppelin on their board state, they've already lost.
Beautiful.
It seems pretty good because it only costs 3 mana for 3/3 vigilance.
And at the beginning of your end step, untap each other artifact you control, like
artifact creatures. So like all your Mers.
Yeah, artifact creature.
Mers will untap and all that stuff.
You have blockers.
You do, you have blockers too. It's like she's built to like do the vehicle shenanigans of like crew all my vehicles, and then I can untap them on the end step if I need to like crew and block again on the turn rotation. It's also like I see this and I go, oh, it's Wilderness Reclamation, but with artifact creatures in my command zone. And like, where does Drum Bellower fit into that? Where does where does Unwinding Clock come in here? So I mentioned mono white vehicles is tricky. Like that's when I think of her in the zone versus in the 99, I'm like, mono white vehicles may be real difficult, but
Yeah, I
like
mean, the blue-white vehicles deck is already
Blue
kind of
white's
lacking
really
vehicles.
good. So it's good. That I think it'll be way
Like
good.
it's a good deck, but there's only certain vehicles you could use. Like the list of vehicles isn't that long.
yeah.
No.
She feels like a 99 to me for sure. I think you can build something fun with Agra's cost if you wanted to. That's really like janky and weird, and probably broken. But yeah, she feels like a 99 to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
unless your whole point is just to make 5/5 Zeppelins the whole game.
Which, if that's your jam, like live your life.
That's fair. All right, you want to read the next one then?
I do because I love it. This is Preston the Vanisher, 3 and a white for a 2/5 legendary creature, Rabbit Wizard. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't cast, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 0/1 white illusion. And then you can pay 1 and a white and sacrifice 5 illusions to exile target non-land permanent.
Okay, so the first thing for me is I immediately was like, this is a rabbit head.
Yes. He's a magician, okay?
Rabbit magician. Rabbit illusionist.
He's pulling his own head out of the hat, right?
Yeah, his own head out of the hat.
There's they're very smart here to say like, oh, well, if it wasn't cast, right? But white is such a blink color that like if you've got a blink ETB deck already that's in white, throw him in the 99. But like I'm super interested in my friend in the MTA, Corey, has a mono white devotion, and there's so many creatures that ETB and then clock the devotion. So to like blink those and make copies of them to like clock devotion across is like, it feels like a massive go wide
or just
value
like
trade.
Like blinking Sun Titan and then get double trigger on Sun Titan.
Yeah, that seems good.
Yeah, that seems great.
That seems really good. Yeah, let's just get a bunch of stuff back.
Or you play the Eerie Interlude, blink your whole board, get 5 illusions right away, and then exile something that you don't like.
Yeah. Like a Reverent Hoplite, 4 and a white for a 1/2 human soldier. When it ETBs, create a number of 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens equal to your devotion to white. Like, come on, that's crazy.
Yeah, it seems good. just a little bit. Just flood the board with stuff and then just get rid of their crap.
Anytime you're making token copies of permanents or creatures, it's gonna be powerful. Like it's unavoidable, you know.
Yeah, even if it is a 0/1 version.
Yeah, as long as they have their abilities, who the hell cares? You know,
right.
you're gonna find a way to make that work.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on to blue now. The next one is Alondra Sky Dreamer. It is 2 blue for a 2/4 legendary merfolk wizard creature. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 blue drake creature token with flying. Whenever you draw your 5th card each turn, Alondra Sky Dreamer and drakes you control each get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand.
Guess what,
so
guys?
You gotta draw a lot of cards.
We have a Drake commander, Drake tribal.
Never happened before. Brand new to the Magic scene.
Oh man! So you can play all the wind drakes you ever wanted from back in the day.
Yes.
Can we rule 0 that I can play unlimited wind drakes in my deck?
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
I think the first part is super easy. Like drawing your second card is a Howling Mine or whatever.
Right.
Like that's so
Not
easy
hard.
to do.
The last part, you're going to need a wheel or some sort of effect that's going to draw you a bunch of cards. Like
you're going to basically have like a Nekizar deck or something for that to work.
Yeah, it's like mono blue Nekuzar. But then you've also got Talrand, and I don't know if Talrand's in the 99 of Alondra or if Alondra's in the 99 of Talrand. Like,
yeah, because they both make drakes. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I do like that she's meditating on a rock while this like swarm of drakes is flying by.
Yeah,
she's,
this
totally
art's sick.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, say you draw 5, right? Because you have to draw 5 cards for this. So at minimum, when you play this, all of your drakes are getting +5/+5. So even if they're like wind drakes, they're 7/7 flyers. You're probably going to win the game off that.
If you do make it work, you will probably win because they're gonna have trouble.
So it's kind of like you could just sit there and draw an extra, and get just 1, 2, 2 a turn until you're up to like 5 of them, 6 of them, and then just
go.
All right, I'm going to swing with them all as 7/7s.
Yeah.
Or bigger.
And the wheel even is that because it's going to clock the first card you draw. So like the wheel only needs to be for 4 and you're good,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's where Windfall comes in handy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
What is that card? I don't even know what that card is.
It's wheel, but blue.
I know.
It's blue wheel.
Oh, okay.
It's blue.
All right, next up we got Isu the Abominable. 3 blue for a 5/5 legendary snow creature Yeti. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play snow lands and cast snow spells from the top of your library. And whenever another snow permanent enters the battlefield of your control, you may pay a green, a white, or a blue. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yeah, it's like
snow-covered stuff.
Yeah, snow deck.
That's
which is interesting. Like we've seen snow in Sultai with the who's the MDFC guy?
Oh, what is it, Yorn or something?
Yeah, Yorn. So now it's like snow, but in Bant. I don't know how many snow spells there are in Magic. Like, are there a lot? Like, is that a thing to do?
We got Cold Snap.
So there's Cold Snap. There was the original Ice Age that was all snow based, and there's King Kaldheim had some in it. If I remember
and
right.
then a couple in Modern Horizons. So
and then and there's a couple like remakes.
4 sets to work with.
So it's there, but it's not nearly as strong as some of the other like stuff for sure.
Yeah, I feel like this is a deck where I would just put I would put Azusa, I would put like everything that can let me play extra lands and just have most of the deck be like snow basics. Just like burn through the deck. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's literally like, okay, I could play the snow off the top and then tap the land I just played to put a 1/1 on this.
Yeah,
and then you're just kind of going Voltron, Abzan Voltron deck.
Yeah.
With snow lands. It's probably better in the 99 of another deck, but that's built around snow.
Probably.
There's not a ton of other snow commanders out there, so I don't know.
I don't know how many legendary snow creatures there are, honestly. Like, not off the top of my head, at least. All right, you want to do the next one?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna butcher this. Kinesos. Priest of Thassa. We're gonna call him Ken. 1 and a blue for a legendary creature, Merfolk Cleric. He is a 1/3. If you would scry a number of cards, scry that many cards +1 instead. And then 3, and then hybrid Simic, so green or a blue. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent creature card, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't put the card onto the battlefield, you may put it on the bottom of your library.
Oh god, it's another sea creature deck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sea creature deck.
Oh man, we've already had a couple like cards from a couple of past sets that we've looked at that were like really friendly.
It's probably better. Well, I don't even know what was the other one. Black blue though.
I can't remember what the colors were. It was blue and something. I can't remember if it was black or white.
Yeah, I think it was Dimir.
Yeah. So, but this one you can also, build scry into it as well. So you can like set up what your top card is going to be, and then flip it over and okay, now I got my Stormtide Leviathan.
Yeah, it's got that
play your scry ball.
Yeah,
your top or
crystal ball. Yep. Scry ball.
What's the blue partner from Commander Legends? That's the Sphinx. That's like whenever you would draw a card, you scry instead.
Oh, that.
Yeah, it's like whenever you scry, you draw. I think.
Oh, that's it.
It's not Sphinx
or
Jarail. That's a different one. That one just lets you look. I can't remember.
Yeah.
The one that's...
There's another one that's like if you would scry, you scry that many +1. It's just like this effect.
Yeah, they feel like they want to be friends.
Yeah, for sure.
We're slowly getting enough scry cards that I can build a scry baby deck because I just want to build a deck where every card has scry on it. Every single card. And it doesn't have to be good. I just want every card to have scry on it.
Just for the fun of it,
Yeah, do it for the memes.
Uh-huh.
I do like that it's like Thrasios, but Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent. Like, it's a mana dump that lets me go through my deck in a way, and like, if I don't like the thing, I can bottom it, or if it's a creature of that type, I get it. Like, it's interesting.
And honestly, a lot of those creatures are usually pretty expensive, so this is a really easy way to cheat them in. So,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because they're usually pretty huge and usually broken in some way. So, that could be fun.
Yeah, I'm into this. I'm into this as a Simic, like, creature type deck. So
yeah, for sure. All right. Next up, we have Pirated Copy. It is 4 and a blue for a 0/0 creature shapeshifter pirate. You may have Pirated Copy enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it's a pirate in addition to its other types. And it has whenever this creature or another creature with a same name deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. So it's one more for a clone that does stuff.
I am obsessed with this card. I have a Volrath clone, a Volrath Shapestealer clone deck, and it's just usually that's the rate. Like 4 for a clone is like your average clone, and then 5 for a clone is you get an additional thing, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that it adds card draw to whatever you're cloning is super spicy. It's also the fact that it's a pirate, so Malcolm loves it. And it's also, if you clone an opponent's creature, it doesn't say creature you control with the same name. So if you clone an opponent's creature, when that creature deals damage to a player, you're going to draw the card off the opponent's creature. Right. Which I think is the weirdest part of it to me.
The other crazy thing is you could clone something you have multiple times, and then you play this, and then with all of those clones, you're going to draw cards.
Yes, I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't figured it out yet. There's got to be something with Mystic Reflection here. Like, how do I? Or it's Azorius Mirror Weave, where like everybody mirror weaves into the pirated copy, and then I swing out and draw a bunch of cards. Like, I don't. There's so many weird things you can do with it. Like, this is the deck you run Spy Kid in. This is where.
Yeah, I feel like anything that adds card draw is always good.
Yes,
card draw is always awesome for sure.
And I mean, 10/10 Flavor Wind. It's a great name for a creature. It's a pirated copy. Call it Napster at this point. Like,
exactly. Oh man.
All right. Who read the last one? James?
I did, so it's your turn.
Yeah. So we're on the black now. Next up is Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm. It is 3 and a black for a 3/4 legendary creature rat warlock. Whenever Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm attacks or blocks, other rats you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of rats you control. At the beginning of your end step, you may mill 4 cards. If you do, return up to 2 rat cards from your graveyard to your hand.
So, is this a Relentless Rats deck commander?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just fill your deck with them.
Yeah, there's already another rat commander, but so this would go in that deck, or you could switch the commander to this. Yeah. This is probably better than that one. I don't remember what the other commander does.
I don't know what the other one is. I can't remember. But this one seems pretty decent.
There's the Marrow-Gnar as one of the rat commanders.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I wish it came back to the battlefield, but beggars can't be choosers. Like, right. I wish it was at my end step, mill 4 cards, and then return up to 2 back to the battlefield, because they're so small. Like, but that would be very powerful. And
that'd be pretty busted, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just get them in your hand, and then you play them again anyway, and then you're gonna when you attack or block, they're gonna get bigger. So
yeah,
right.
This also is rat tokens. I'm sure there's a way to I don't know if there's ways to make rat tokens, but it feels. I've seen a lot of people.
I think there are.
Pack rat, yes. Yep. I've seen a lot of people try to do relentless rats in Corvald. I've seen them try to I've seen iterations of Relentless Rats where it's fine. What's the mono black legendary from Kamigawa that people use that like brings something back on the end step too?
Shieldred.
No,
The old one.
you can try Shield. Yeah, you could do Shieldred here too. I'm trying to find what it is, but I can't find it. Yeah, I'm interested in that. I think like if you are into rat creature type, do it.
Yeah,
like
it's another rat
this
card.
this could be fun for sure. And honestly, like if you build a deck well around it, it could be pretty good. Honestly, like if they have the right support for it, like it's gonna be really powerful.
Or just play all changelings. Then that
or that. Yeah.
Isn't that always the answer? Like it's always like, just play changelings. Like that's the thing.
The just play Mirror Entity and win because you just tap for like a jillion land and you attack for 1,000,000 power.
Yeah. The number of times I've looked at my Maskwood Nexus and went, oh man, is this a Maskwood Nexus deck? It's just easier that way. Okay, I will. Let's see. Oh, we're down here. Yep, okay, so the next one is Rodolph Duskbringer, not to be confused with Rudolph. He is 5 and a black for a legendary creature, Vampire Angel. He's a 4/4. Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. Whenever you gain life, Rodolph Duskbringer gains indestructible until end of turn. And then at the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1 and hybrid Orzhov, so white or a black. And when you do, return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot happening here.
A lot here. I mean, it does cost 6, which is a higher cost card, but first of all, you're getting 3 keywords, which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then these are some nice abilities. You gain a 4th too if you gain life, so pretty great.
Yeah. It's like a chroma almost. Like
yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah. I think you're gonna want to play this in any vampire deck. Any angel deck that has black. And definitely in a life gain deck as well. You'll also play this in the Keywords Matters deck. Was it Cathrall?
Yeah, that's Cathrall.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of uses for this card, or itself is just good because you're just bringing something back, like just.
Oh God! Don't die.
Like worst case, you're swinging for 4, and then you're getting something back that's 4 or less.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of a bomb like on its own. Like,
yeah,
you can really play this in any mono black or I guess white and black deck.
Yeah. The fact that it's on its own dealing 4 lifelink with evasion, it's like great. So any 4 CMC or less almost every turn for 2 mana is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very good.
I'm glad it's 6 mana though.
It's to the battlefield too, which is also very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like to your hand or your deck or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is definitely rightfully put at 6 mana because anything less would be insane.
Yeah. I feel like this is probably the most outright powerful of all the ones we've read so far. Like this just as a creature is very, very strong.
Yeah, just by itself it's good.
It's just a bomb. Just insane. Next up, we have Termination Facilitator. It is 1 and a black for a 1/3 human assassin creature. Tap it, put a bounty counter on target creature or planeswalker. Activate only as a sorcery. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it is dealt damage, destroy it.
So we got another bounty card. Guys, we're slowly the bounty hunter deck going. There's 4 or 5 cards now.
There's not very many.
Deal with bounty counters.
Yeah, I thought Tetsemak was this, but Tetsemak is a prey counter. So it looks like it's Chevelle, Bane of Monsters, the OG bounty hunter, Mathis, and that's it. So this is basically like the 4th bounty card. And I mean, the thing is, it's in black, so it could go into Mathis or Chevelle.
Yep. It is nice because it makes it so that, this when they're dealt damage, destroy it. So it pairs with both of them because I think the other ones make you draw cards.
Yeah.
At least Chevelle, I think, is draw cards. One of them's gain life, maybe.
Mathis is when this creature dies, each opponent draws a card and gains 2 life.
Okay, so it's life and draw.
Chevelle, whenever a permanent an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it dies, you gain 3 life and draw a card.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to kill the stuff.
I love that for the flavor of the Termination Facilitator, it is only at sorcery speed, because if, like, say, somebody swings out, they go to blocks, and then if it were an instant speed, you could be like, oh, well, if it's going to die from the blocks, tap it and put a bounty counter on it, clearly. Like, but that's not the way a bounty works. A bounty has to be put out first.
Right.
Before the thing can die.
Yeah, because you can also do it like, oh, you're swinging at me, I'm going to put a bounty counter on it, so if they block it with a 1/1, it's going to die.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The flavor text, you sign, then they die. Simple as that.
Yeah. That's good.
Is that the first? That is the first card with flavor text we have read. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. All these have too much other text, apparently.
All right, on to red here. We got Ardas, the Cobbler of War. It's 1 in a red for a 1/1 legendary creature goblin shaman with haste. Whenever it or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And it has pay 3 in a red, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token with haste. Activate only as a sorcery.
Damn. Okay, that's aggro as hell.
Yeah.
God, man.
Whenever her or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature. So I think you've got to. It's not hard to do, but I think in red you've got to solve how to give everything haste. Besides
so
just the token
like
that she
anger
is
in the
making.
graveyard or
Yeah.
something like that.
There's plenty of ways to do it. And if you play it in just a regular like goblin deck, a lot of them have haste just to begin with. So.
Yeah, and then there's like the goblin lore that gives all goblins haste, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting for 2 mana. I mean, it's a 2 mana 1/1, so she's a little squishy, but
it's a 2 mana 3/1 if you attack that turn.
Oh, that's
hey, just swing out. It's a better Goblin Guide. Remember how busted that card was?
Goblin Guide still might be better because you could get lands or whatever it is.
Yeah, but you don't have Goblin Guide in your command zone.
That's true. This you can use your command zone.
No, I don't think this is a command zone creature. Like, there are way better Goblin commanders out there.
Yeah, I think this is like in the 99 of Muxus or in the 99 of another.
This is definitely a 99 that you play on turn 2, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you want to aggro this like crazy if you can.
Yeah, it's good. It's nice. It's a nice card. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I have Anti-Blight, Bad Influence, 2 in a red for a legendary creature, Devil Advisor. It's a 2/2 with flying. Whenever a source you control deals damage to you, put that many 1/1 counters on Anti-Blight, Bad Influence. 1 in a red, tap, remove X 1/1 counters from Anti-Blight. It deals X damage to any target.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the image is just like the little devil on the shoulder telling you to do bad things.
Yeah. I love the flavor of this card. It's excellent.
So it wants you to hurt yourself so that you can damage other stuff.
Totally.
This is the type of card I want to see. Like, listen, the amount of sets that have come out is its own conversation and a whole other episode of a podcast, right? But one of the things that I have learned in this like flood of product is that commander creatures like this are the thing that excite me. Like, this is, when I saw this spoiled, I was like, yes, I want more stuff in this direction because it's so unique to itself. And like, Jumpstart's good at that. Like, Jumpstart gave us Zurzoth. Like, and Zurzoth is a great commander if you haven't built it. It's hilarious. The random discard is actually so important. Like, but Yeah, I want to see more stuff like anti-blight. I want to see colors doing weird things because it's just different, you know? Like,
Yeah, this could maybe finally make the stop hitting yourself deck be good. I don't know if it will or not yet, but good maybe. It's another
the
piece
like,
to it.
yes,
Like,
the infamous stop hitting yourself deck that is like always in construction somewhere.
Yes,
um,
indeed.
yeah, I
I
don't know
love it.
how. Like, I think it's ironic removing counters from her to deal X damage to any target, but you could just be burning the target, but instead you're burning yourself. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fireball myself. You know, like.
yeah, that's why I think you're more likely to play the ones like, oh, it deals 5 damage to target permanent and 2 to you or whatever, like stuff
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Pyrohemia is the first thing I think about because she'll
Yeah.
survive the Pyrohemia. Like,
Or like the one that deals X damage to all players, and then it's like it hits everybody and yourself, and then
Yeah.
this is gonna get a bunch of counters.
Then you just do more.
yeah. There's a surprise element too of like if you swing out, she's a flying 2/2, and it's like okay, no blocks, and it's like great instant speed. I'll deal 20 damage to myself. You're dead. Oops. Like,
whoopsie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. Next up, we have Brazen Cannonade. It is 3 in a red for an enchantment. Whenever an attacking creature you control dies, Brazen Cannonade deals 2 damage to each opponent. And then it has Raid, which is at the beginning of your post-combat main phase. If you attacked with a creature this turn, exile the top card of your library. Until end of combat on your next turn, you may play that card.
So it seems really good in like a goblin token deck, right? Like you just swing.
Totally.
If they block, you don't care because they're taking 2 and you're going to look at another card.
Yeah, I think it's any go wide token strategy in red. You could be in Gruul with Wart. You could be in like Boros. There's so many ways to do it. That it's just value for doing the thing you're gonna do anyway. Like, why would you not?
Right.
I'm interested in the first. It's the first use of until end of combat on your next turn. It's not until the end of your next turn or whatever.
Right.
Like, it's a very specific thing. A window of time, I guess, to play the card.
You also could, like, if you had Goblin Bombardment, you could just swing, and then before they even declare blocks, just sack them all and do an extra 1 damage plus the 2 to everybody. And then you get to look at a bunch of cards.
Yeah,
that's actually really great.
That seems good as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're only going to get the 1 card because it's like at the beginning of your post-combat, if you attacked with a creature.
Oh, yeah, so you'll get 1 card, yeah.
You get 1. If it was each creature, oh my god.
That would be so good.
Yeah. This is also another Zerzoth card because when the devils die, they deal 2 damage to any target. So, like, they're going to swing as 1/1s. Yeah, so it's basically each devil deals 4 damage. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's good as hell. It's just gas. Like, at that point.
Red's hard push into the impulse draw top card exile the past few sets and past like 2 years, I think, is just so amazing. It's like, yeah, they found a way to make red have its own card draw and its own card advantage, and it's really, I mean, as we saw with Prosper, it's ridiculously powerful to be able to like to pocket a card in an exile zone that can't be interacted with, it can't be discarded with, and you can still cast it. That's what I think people don't understand, especially with cards like Foretell or any of the things that exile until the beginning of your next turn or until the end of your next turn. You're literally pocketing a card in an uninteractable zone.
Right.
That is huge because it's not affected by wheels. It's not affected by like they can't force you to discard it. It's like it's so good. It's so good. I have a whole TED talk on it. We don't need to go there.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's very good. Now they've got to figure out how to make white draw cards. They keep changing how they think they're going to do it.
I know. I have a mono white landfall deck that I've been brewing for like since 2019 with a few people in a Discord channel. We're big proponents of the mono white lands archetype. The lands matter, and it's like it's gotten better. But yeah, figure it out. I don't know. What does it want to do?
Next up, we got Mizzix Replica Rider, 4 and a red for a 4/5 legendary creature Goblin Wizard with flying. It's a flying Goblin Wizard. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may pay 1 Izzet, so blue or red. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. If the copy is a permanent spell, it gains haste, and at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this permanent.
I mean, speaking of casting from exile,
yeah, cast from exile. Okay,
Yeah.
let me copy it.
Mm-hmm.
If you put this in the 99, you could copy your commander and swing with it for a turn.
Yeah.
Except for it'd be legend rule, I guess. So you need something to make.
You just die.
Yeah, this to me is like, you could go Cascade. You know, is it Cascade? You could do like Impulse Draw. I'm interested in the version of it where it's like it's not instant and sorcery. Well, it could be instant and sorcery Storm, but it could also be like permanent Storm. Like, how do you start getting into like loops where the permanent that I'm copying is like creating more value over time? I mean, honestly, like Dockside alone here is like crazy, but like, how do I, what's the like, oh, it's a Peregrine Drake from exile. I make a copy of it. I untap 5 lands twice. Continue to like storm off.
Or just like I Inferno Titan twice.
Yeah, I Inferno Titan twice. That's good.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. Just kill a bunch of stuff, basically. It's like, okay.
Yeah. It seems good paired with the Tolly, too, because you could, cast your opponent's spells and copy them.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. It's always a Tolly. It always goes back to a Tolly. Yeah. I think it's also like, casting from the top of your own library too. Like I bet there's a whole artifact build with like Mystic Forge and stuff where you're just like, oh, now I'm just like copying all my artifact spells as I cast them because they're from the top of my library.
Yeah.
It's Izzet doing Izzet things.
That sounds about right.
I just want to applaud Mizzix for building a Niv Mizzet replica dragon. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a flying goblin. Like
yeah.
Totally awesome.
Okay, I have the next one. This is Ogre Battlecaster, 2 and a red for a creature Ogre Shaman with first strike. It's a 3/3. When Ogre Battlecaster attacks, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard by paying red in addition to its other costs. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead, and when you cast that spell, Ogre Battlecaster gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is that spell's mana value. Sure?
So you like Snapcaster your spells basically, and buff this by paying red in addition?
Yeah. I mean, red usually doesn't have spell recursions, so it's basically just you may as well do more damage, right?
Yeah. I like that it buffs it as well. I'm trying to think of what was the creature that there was a creature that like did this sort of already. Like when it attacked, you may cast a spell from your graveyard. It didn't pump the thing though. Yeah. I enjoy it. I'm like, this is nice. The 2 extras, like whatever. You would clearly, I think, do this. I mean, the value train of just doing cantrips for 3. Like, cast a cantrip, draw a card, pay an extra.
Or let me just lightning bolt again.
Yeah,
3,
bolt.
Right? And then buff this 3
Seems
or
good.
1. And then it does have first strike, so the +X/+0 is relevant there because
it's very relevant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it only gets power, but who cares if it has first strike? They're probably not going to be able to deal with it anyway.
I didn't even think about
like
that.
Double strike or some shit.
I'm also here for this like LGBTQIA plus icon with this like rainbow lightning that's going into the axe. I'm like, yes.
It's very great. Man, I'm not wearing my like colorful stuff today, damn it. I was on the last episode.
It's like a blue ogre too.
Yeah. just in time for Avatar. It's Ogre Battlecaster.
Yeah, I was like, what? It looks like Avatar, doesn't it?
James Cameron coming in here.
He's a consultant on the Jumpstart.
All right. Oh yeah, I'm up. All right. So that's red. We're moving on to green. We got Benevolent Hydra. It is X green for a 1/1 Hydra creature. Benevolent Hydra enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on another creature you control, that many +1 +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. And then tap it, remove a +1/+1 counter from Benevolent Hydra, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. Ugh, that was a tongue twister. Holy crap.
So it adds +1 like Hardened Scales, right? And then but you could just play it as 2 for a 1/1 version of Hardened Scales.
Yeah.
So I like the space of you don't have to pay X if you don't want to. Like they did that in Brothers War as well, where like the X you can overpay if you want to. But like here, at least you're getting a bunch of 1/1 counters, so you're probably getting stuff into X. But
yeah, when I was going through the list of cards, it's just like the biggest eye roll on this one is like it's like all redundant things that exist in other places that are put into a card. But my favorite thing was exactly that, like, oh, it's a 2-mana Hardened Scales. That's all this is, really.
Right, exactly. So if you want that effect, it's going in your deck.
Yeah.
100%.
If you're on Hardened Scales, +1/+1 counter synergy. If you're on Hydras, then congratulations, you have a backup Hardened Scales. That's easy. That's easier to recur too. Like if it dies, it's easier to get back than the enchantment. Like I think it's pretty good on it. Like when you put an effect that's on an enchantment on a creature, it's immediately better because it's. I'm always of the opinion that who cares if it's easier to remove, it's also easier to recur.
That's true.
Yep. Just imagine this with like doubling season or something.
It's so, oh gosh, so dirty. I can't even.
It's gross.
You could put this in your doubling season deck, James.
Yeah. I know. It would actually work decently.
Next up, we got Kippo, the Uktabi Prince.
What is that? Okay.
2 and a green for a 2/2 legendary creature Monkey Noble. So we got a monkey commander here. Tap it. Each player creates a colorless artifact token named Banana. With tap, sacrifice this artifact, add a red or a green to your mana pool, and you gain 2 life. Whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that's an ape or a monkey. And whenever Kibo attacks, defending players sacrifices an artifact.
So it's monkey commander that hates artifacts, I guess.
Well, it hates opponents having artifacts, so you can have artifacts.
Oh, I mean, yeah, exactly.
So it's basically you're giving them your bananas and you're forcing them to get rid of their bananas so that you can get all your stuff, all your monkeys bigger. It's like, give me your bananas to pump my monkeys.
Yes.
I love it.
So you have the ape monkey tribal. There's a decent.
How many monkeys are there? There's a few. I know there's older ones. I'm sure there's got to be some new ones too, right?
Yeah. This is like it's clearly a Masquerade Nexus deck, you know. Like, oh well, my things are apes or monkeys, so it's fine. Or it's a changeling deck as well. Like, I think what's interesting about this is that it's counting treasure. So it feels like the perfect way to like, oh, you want a net value by spending your treasure. I'm going to pump my board to do that. And like my brain jumped to like Tempting Contract at the beginning of your upkeep. Each opponent may create a treasure token. For each opponent who does, you create a treasure token. And I'm like, what's the version of this deck where I'm actually giving them things that is just going to pump my board to crazy numbers, you know? Like,
so there's 46 ape and monkeys in Magic.
Oh,
If you count the unhinged sets, there's about 3 unhinged ones.
I see.
3 or
I
4.
see.
Interesting. Okay. So
And all of them are either green or red, so you could play them in this deck.
So it's
I guess there's one
doable.
black one. But
That's doable.
so
then.
you definitely have enough to play like 20 monkeys. If you want. 20 monkeys and apes.
Even
Yeah.
if they're not all the best.
Yeah, like the banana token is not the point of this this
No.
creature for me at all. Like it's cute, but I think it's really looking at like clue tokens, blood tokens, treasure tokens, food tokens, like any
Yeah.
I think any of those cards in Gruul that you can find that's like either going to benefit from your opponents doing that thing already or giving them stuff for them to do, like is interesting.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what I said. Then if you could put like a few monkeys in the deck that are good, the good ones, and then some changelings or
Yeah.
something, you're going to buff this and every other monkey and ape you have. So
Oh, is Kogla an oh my gosh, hold on. Is Kogla an ape?
I'm pretty sure.
Creature type ape. Yes! We're pumping Kogla! This is
Yep.
great.
Yeah, like
I'm so
Kogla's pretty
excited.
good. I mean, the old school ancient silverback is okay, right? Like
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
they got the Gorilla Titan, the banana. I want a banana this
Yeah.
big.
This
But,
big. Yeah. Love that. I love that
Ravagan,
card.
obviously, is super good.
Oh yeah, Ragavan, yep.
Yeah. Silverback Elder. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
You definitely have some stuff to work with for sure.
The rest are
This
like
is-
commons, but
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
one of those decks that I would definitely, if somebody brought it to the table, I'd be super excited just to see what it does. Like, I
Mhm.
tried to build Gruul Group Hug a long time ago with Ulrich of the Crawlin' Horde. It was so bad. It did not work at all. But like, I've always loved the idea of taking one of the most aggressive color pairings in Magic and making it the most like group huggy and see what it does. So maybe this is Kivo. I don't know.
possibly.
Very possible.
Is it me?
Yes,
Yes,
I
I
believe it
think
is
so.
you.
Okay, so this is Runati, Behemoth Caller, 2 and a green for a legendary creature, Cat Shaman. It's a 1/3. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 5 or greater, that creature enters the battlefield with X additional 1/1 counters on it, where X is its mana value -4. Creatures you control with 3 or more 1/1 counters on them have haste. That's awesome.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
you know, just for giggles, it also has tap and add a green.
It's a mana dork on top of all
It-
that. Yay.
Yeah, I read this card and I was like, you just a little, it needs one other thing. We'll make it a mana dork.
Yeah, so it's a cat if you want to play cat tribal.
Ooh.
But the Timmy in me is okay. I get to play mono green big things. Here we go.
Yeah,
Every
exactly.
time I do, they're going to get bigger. And if I can play like an 8-drop or a 7-drop, I'm going to get haste on it. So
There was
Yeah.
a whole cycle of this ability in Alara that was if a creature with power 5 or greater entered the battlefield, do something.
yeah.
Yep.
That's what this reminds me of. I was
Also,
like, what block was this?
What's that?
I was trying to remember what the block was that had that ability.
Shards of Lamar or
Mhm.
whatever. But also,
That's
in
back
the
when
Commander,
Jund was
Commander
huge.
Legends, there's the partner pair that's for the green and the blue one for playing big shit. So now you could just play the green half of the Commander Legends stuff.
Interesting.
that
Yeah,
is
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Casting big seems. I think it's 6 or greater for that, but it's going to work
You
with
can
the 5
always,
or greater too. So,
Can always pair it with like Fierce Empath, so it costs less.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Because I think it was at 6 or more cost 2 less, if I remember right.
does that? No, that's Crows and Drover. Fierce Empath searches for it.
Yeah.
Or
Fierce
I'm
Empath
thinking of Drover. Sorry, yes, yeah, that's right. Fierce Empath searches, and then you play Drover.
Yes,
so it
Crows and
costs-
Drover also would be good. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen this card before. Hey,
That's old school.
nice. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's so many. Yeah, this feels like a deck where, like, once you figure out what the engine is, you can just slap whatever giant
Yeah.
creature you want into it and go to town.
Yep.
This, this. Once you just got to build the right deck, and then this can just go crazy. Like it's easy.
Mono green
It's
Timmy.
big mean green, man.
You can put your Thorn Elemental in here and have haste.
There it is! There it
You'll
is!
say the image correctly.
A haste
We
Thorn
found it.
Elemental. What?
We found it.
It'll be a 10-10 as well. 10
10
Thorn
damage
Elemental
correctly.
with
Hey.
haste.
That's a third of their life right there, or a fourth of their life right there, man.
Got him.
Boom. Yeah. That's just green doing green things. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm personally a fairly green player, so
are you?
I like seeing stuff like this.
Yeah, he's the green player. I'm the black player. So
Nice.
Yep.
I am a white player. I want control. I want protection. I want to says the person who also plays a cleric in like every D&D campaign.
All right, finally, our last one is Zask Skittering Swarmlord. It's 3 green for a 5/5 legendary insect creature. You may play lands and cast insect spells from your graveyard. Whenever another insect you control dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library, then mill 2 cards. And then you pay 1 and was that Golgari, black and green. Target insect gets +1/+0 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. So we got a Crucible effect here, we got milling effects, and then we got Death Touch.
and insect tribal. But
Yes,
I don't know
and
how
insect
many
tribal.
insects there are. I guess I could look, but
There's some.
I mean,
So-
you did look up the the previous the apes and the monkeys.
Well, there's like is it Hornet Queen or Ant
Hornet
Queen?
Queen, yeah. Hornet
Yeah.
Queen.
And there's Ant Swarm or Ant Queen 2 or Ant something. I can't remember
Yeah.
what the other one is. Yeah.
Oh, there's actually 204 cards that have insect. as the
Oh
type.
There we
shit!
go.
Okay.
Options, yeah.
Definitely have options with that deck.
Not all of them are green and black though, but a majority are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
That
think
doesn't
There's a
surprise
few
me.
red ones and a few blue ones.
well, they can just get out. Crucible on a creature is very powerful. Again, it's
Yep.
recurable, super spicy. That's why Ramen Up Excavator is great. So my friend has a all creature deck with Umori in the companion zone,
Mhm.
and he is allowed to play Grist
Yep.
because it is a insect in the deck.
Yep. And so
And,
you can
like-
also play that from the grave with this.
So yeah, my immediate thing is like, oh, you play Grist, it dies. It's not going to get milled to the bottom of your library because it wasn't a insect when it died.
Right, it wasn't a
And then
creature, yeah.
It wasn't a creature, and then you cast Grist from your yard because in the yard it's an insect. Like
Yep.
that's literally just a Grist loop over and over and over again.
Yep. I played that in my it was a Carador deck because it's an insect creature in the yard. But it's
Yeah.
not when it's in, so I could keep playing Grist for the graveyard. It's like Carador.
It's so I do like the flavor of the life and death because the insect dies and then gets put on the bottom of its library, but you mill 2 cards to find a new insect. So it's kind of that like constant
Yeah.
new life and death cycle, which is great because it would be really easy if it was like, oh, it dies, mill 2 cards, like it's still in your yard for you to use later. But no,
Mhm.
it forces you to like cast a new insect, which I think is really cool.
Right, instead of just replaying the same good one over and over and over.
Exactly. Yeah.
Play a different good one. But even your 1/1 insects are going to be two 1s with Death Touch if you pay 2.
Uh-huh. What's
So
the
that
other
makes them all good blockers.
What's the weird finger guy? That's hold on. There's the Golgari what's his name? Old Stick Fingers.
Old Stick Fingers, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My brain also goes to like how do you fill the yard with, like stick fingers and stuff just to give yourself access to things. That was the worst explaining what a card is.
What's the finger guy? What?
Let's
Fingers guy.
Oh, Old Stick Fingers. Okay, yeah, that guy.
I love it. Oh my god.
I got what was it? The black and white art of Old Stick Fingers.
Oh
That was
yeah.
like the showcase art for it or whatever. And I was like, okay, I actually like this better because I can't tell that it's old stick figures. This guy that mills.
Yep, that's all you got to know, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's one of those cards I
Beautiful.
really loved the art, but I didn't like the design. I was like, I just like the creepy scarecrow vibe, but like whatever.
All right, so of all of these, which one's the best, do you think?
I think it's got to be that Vampire Angel, right? That thing is just insane.
I think it's really good, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just like straight out of the box on its own, it's definitely wrote off. And like, I think just out of value, maybe it's like Preston, but it's mono white, so it's hard. Like,
Yeah.
And then which one are you excited about? Like, which one do you want to build any of these? Or do you want to build them all?
I'm kind of excited about Renati personally. The green player in me likes Renati a lot. So, you know.
Yeah, that's the one too. I was like, ooh, Renati seems dope. The monkey seems
fun.
awesome too.
Yeah. That's just different, which is fun.
Yeah, the monkey deck.
yeah, like out of all this, I'm definitely buying a pirated copy for sure. Anti-Blight, I was like, this is great. I want someone to bring a Kibo deck to the table. I don't think I'm gonna build it, but I just want to see it in action just to see what it does.
Just see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, if I build it, I'll challenge you then. There you go.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, that is Jumpstart. We made it through. It was not too long, so which is good.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, k0ppk0pp. Where can people find you if they want to find you online?
Yeah, so you can find me on my handle k0ppk0pp, which is k0ppk0pp. That is my like personal handle. That's also where I stream on Twitch. But if you're looking for specifically Magic the Gathering content, you can find me and the rest of my play group under the Magic Tapping Authority or the MTA. We have a YouTube channel, Instagram, Twitter, and we also take the Twitch content from my stream and put it onto other platforms. So if you want to watch the live content that I was talking about, the 5-person format, and the kind of new way that we're trying to do this, you can definitely find that on Twitch. So
awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That's about it, I guess.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. I love this stuff. I love just sitting and talking and hanging out, talking about Magic cards with people. Let's do it.
For sure.